Today, I want to start my show with a riddle. Okay? If a man becomes very successful, very suddenly, and very quickly, by using a certain tactic, what happens to that man when he's faced with a situation where that deadly strategy that has served him so well in the past does not apply, cannot work? What will happen to that man? Stay with me until the end of this video and I will give you the answer to that riddle. Super fascinating stuff. Well, in Kenya, we continue to see things that we have never ever seen before in our history. Unprecedented things. And they're happening all over the place. And indeed, way too fast. In the over 50-year history of the nation called Kenya, we have never had a situation where foreigners have demonstrated, had maandamanos in faraway lands protesting against the nation called Kenya and protesting against her president or leader. That has never ever happened before. And it's not that the country has never gotten involved in controversial issues. In the 70s, for instance, Kenya had a very smart foreign policy that I wish they had stuck to, of non-alignment. They were not aligned to the West and they were not aligned to the East. They were doing business with both. And this presented numerous challenges and controversial situations where foreigners would have easily demonstrated against Kenya anywhere in the world. It never happened. But yesterday, on the streets of New York, the people of Haiti demonstrated very passionately against the nation called Kenya and against Ruto, whom they called a puppet, for sending policemen to Haiti. Now, I'm not sure if these guys know that even Kenyans themselves are very much opposed to this decision by Ruto to send our policemen to Haiti. Okay? I think they're not aware of that. And I believe if they were, they would be very surprised. But even more fascinating is the fact that the situation in Haiti is not very different from the situation we have in Kenya. They too have an issue of an illegitimate leader, whom the people of Haiti believe was imposed on them by a foreign power. Sounds familiar? I'm sure it does. But that news is boring, believe it or not, compared to the high-wire drama that is unfolding very deep within the UDA party, where it seems that history is repeating itself. We have a president who is deliberately sidelining his deputy, putting his deputy in a situation where others in his cabinet are more powerful than that deputy president. And I'm talking about Musalia Mudavadi, an extremely powerful man in Kenya today, whether you like it or not. History seems to be repeating itself. And Gachagua is fighting back. And he's not fighting back by leaving UDA. He is going to war while he's still deep inside UDA. He's going to war while he's still deputy president. History repeating itself. Now, please allow me some advice. Never believe what a politician says. Because in case you didn't know, 90% of the times a politician opens his mouth to speak, especially in Kenya, they are not being sincere. So when a clip emerges the next minute of Gachagua saying he's firmly behind Ruto, of Gachagua saying he's very loyal to President Ruto, don't take that too seriously. Don't shoot back at Kumekucha and other analysts who are growing in numbers too fast, who are saying there is a problem between Gachagua and Ruto. Now, I've covered this in great detail in an article on my Kumekucha blog, which you can take in immediately after our show today. Or alternatively, you can even watch a video based on this particular article. I'll put a link in the description area below, and right at the end of my show today, top right hand corner, you can catch those and be brought up to speed. But the crux of the matter is that Ruto handlers are getting irritated. Why? Because, according to them, Gachagua and the Mount Kenya people within UDA are feeling much more important than they really are. They feel that they played a very crucial role in making Ruto president, and of course the president's handlers don't agree. Lakini ile kitu imekasirisha Gachagua kabisa ni madharau. You know, nobody likes being treated shoddily, and the feeling within UDA is that Gachagua is not a political force, and therefore he can do nothing. He can go nowhere. That's the general feeling. And of course Gachagua wants to prove them wrong. And that is why, even as you listen to this, there is a lot of mobilization of the House of Mumbi, of Mount Kenya, to talk as one united unit. And that is not good news for the UDA party. And I'm talking about Mount Kenya on both sides of the political divide, coming together and speaking in one voice. That is what is loading. And of course that can spell disaster, especially if that group will be speaking the language of ordinary people, mwananchi wa kawaida in the Mount Kenya region, because people are suffering. And that is why, in my opinion, this issue is much more deadly. It is much more of a threat to the Ruto presidency than most people seem to realize. Actually, allow me to remind us that the really big, huge events in politics usually happen because of a combination of factors. And right now, the combination of factors working against the survival of the Ruto presidency are way too many, and they're still piling up. You know, it's very interesting the way people analyze politics in Kenya today. I guess it's because too many youngsters have taken to political analysis, and of course there's nothing wrong with that. The only danger, of course, is having the kind of very naive, shallow analysis. If this has happened and nothing has happened immediately, nothing will happen. You know, that kind of attitude. But politics does not work like that. It doesn't. Politics is not instant coffee. You do something today, it continues bringing you down. You do something tomorrow, you do something the other day, and then suddenly, pop, you're gone. That is how politics works. And it may even get more confusing for these analysts. When the political force in trouble is good at pretending, they keep themselves busy. Touring Nyanza, I don't know touring where, looking very strong, hired crowds, etc., etc. And the casual observer says, there is no political threat to the presidency. Hakuna kitu kama hicho. That is a daydream. Well, let's wait and see, shall we? Now the answer to the riddle we started our show with. If an individual makes it to the top, and the tactics and the strategy they use to get there no longer apply to their new position at the top, it will not be possible. There is no power that can keep that individual at the top, especially if they have no ability to adapt to the new circumstances, if they have no experience to use to adapt to their new position of being leader, where the skill sets that got them there are no longer viable. That particular individual, kwisha maneno. And the situation is made worse if the tactics used by that particular individual, his strategy, were very dirty. Okay, they were evil. They are the kinds of things that generate negative energy. Because if that is the case, then what usually happens is that that negative energy catches up with them even before the issue of them not having the skills, to actually do the job, even before the issue of them being able to adapt to their new situation comes into play. That is life. And that is the situation, I believe, precisely that the country called Kenya is faced with. And if you don't exactly understand what I'm talking about, then I would highly recommend my latest audiobook, The Ruto Kenya Will Never Know, which has a lot of details that will enable you to see this situation which we have in front of us very, very clearly. You can see details on your screens right now. Take advantage of it and get this valuable information that will help you very accurately predict where we're going as a country. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.